Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 48 of the Battleship Brawls Season 4 tournament. The Danubia by Black Hand is continuing its march, and it is coming up against another new opponent, the Richelieu by Arminor. We have not seen this ship before, and my first initial impression is that it is a very battleshipy looking battleship. I like it right off the bat. It's got quad-barreled turrets. I'm pretty sure those are, Richelieu-style turrets, hence the name of the ship. I could be wrong, though. I'm not the best on those. Got some anti-aircraft guns and secondary turrets. Non-functional, just decorative, but still. I have no idea what this, V thing is. Why it's there, but I'm sure it has a reason. I think those are supposed to be telescopes? Or maybe they're more, like light anti-aircraft guns. I think they are meant to be the light AA, because they're just like these ones down here. Same thing, but up there. So the hull shape, it's got that sort of wavy sawtooth thing that I think looks nice. It's basically the best we can get to a smoothly curving hull at the moment, without it being way too friggin' long or way too friggin' short. The superstructure got lifeboats set up, ready to deploy. Railings all over the ship. Goodness. Oh, and it's got a flag on the back here. French flag, I do believe. I think there's countries that have multiple countries that have flags of those colors, and it might even just depend on which end you look at it, which flag it is. But I know that's at least French. We've got a keel down here to keep things solid lead. Keep that center of mass where it needs to be. I feel like this part that's sticking out here is almost unnecessary. Like, I almost feel like it would feel better if it just ended with this upslope. Maybe. I don't know. That's my impression, but I could be entirely wrong. I'm really bad at aesthetics. Got some anchors there. No anchor chains, though. I was like, oh wait, no, there they are. They're just on the deck. Nice. And then they go down into the hull and presumably come out where the anchor is, though there's 3 chains and I only see 2 anchors? Am I missing something? I don't know. Does it have any rear anchors? Nope. Got little life preservers around the thing. That's actually a pretty cool touch. I like that. The radio antenna and stuff up here. It's a very cool looking ship. But let's see if it can fight as well as it looks. I think it's actually over here. Yep, there's the. Yep. It is set up with a spawn stick to spawn in partially broadsiding. So let's go ahead and get this battle underway. See how it's gonna go. Guns aimed and firing away. Getting a volley off before the Danubia does. Let's see if it actually lands. It was delayed enough that it should be on target. Oh yeah. Landed straight on the deck with some raking fire. Oh, the second volley didn't do so well though. And the Danubia doesn't really seem to care. Richelieu takes a hit. Ooh, taking some serious damage. Ooh, over 5% in the initial volley. Did a turret get hit? Nope, it's just a cardboard ship, apparently. Does not have much in the way of armor and got huge swaths of blocks ripped out by the Danubia's guns. Danubia taking some more hits. That strong deck armor is pulled now. Oh, but wow, look at all those guns that were destroyed. Almost half of its armament knocked out. Oh, but the Richelieu, is it? Oh, I thought it was sinking there for a second, but that was just an optical illusion created by the smoke. Some more hits to the Danubia from the Richelieu. They actually evened up in hit points. The Richelieu is much more fragile, but it has more guns and managed to score some good hits on the Danubia's weaponry. Now that they're close, though, it's struggling to hit the Danubia because it's very pancake. Oh, but the Richelieu is actually in danger of being cut in half. It does look like it has a pretty solid oh no, that's just armor. I thought that was a solid metal heel going down the middle to keep it together. Some of the rear guns have taken a little bit of damage. Ooh, that gun might take some more. Nope. Managed to evade those hits. Richelieu at 84.3, Danubia at 89.2. Both ships scoring some pretty solid hits. Ooh, those had to be some good strikes there. Yeah, the Danubia, you can see, got some serious holes in the side. The Danubia's not repairing very quickly, though. Usually it's got a pretty good repair rate, but it's not really using its materials this time. Very close match. 82% Danubia, 78% Richelieu. This is draw territory still. But I feel like the Richelieu is slowly closing the gap, and if it manages to take out another gun or two, it'll close the gap even further. But it did lose one of its main turrets here. It's popped off completely. There's nothing left but the what do you call it? The armor around the turret. I know there's a word for that, but it's escaping me right now. Ooh, some more good strikes to the Danubia. Not taking out any of the weapons, but definitely doing some hull damage. It is looking like at this rate it's going to be whoever ship can hold on the longest. Going to be a bit of an endurance test. Ooh, that may be it for that gun. Yeah, it is no longer aiming. It has been disabled by that strike, but it might get repaired. The Danubia does still have materials left to repair with. Another arcing shot striking the side of the Danubia. Oh, the gun takes even more damage. The turret pops off, leaving the Danubia with only 3 guns. So it currently has the edge in armor, but the Richelieu has the edge in armament. Oh, those strikes just knocked out the propellers. I think the engine is back here somewhere. The Danubia has gone dead in the water, which is not good news for it. Giving the Richelieu control over this engagement when it's this close, it's not great. Let's go check on the Richelieu. It is slowly repairing as well. It does not have all that great a repair rate itself. It has taken so much damage to its hull, but its guns are still functional for the most part. That shell just passed through the ship without hitting anything. That's how much damage there is in this area. It might have actually passed under it, but still. The Richelieu has taken so much damage in the center of its structure here. but seems like all of its important components are still there. But uh-oh, 80% and sinking. Ooh, it managed to get up, but that means it is dangerously close. Dangerously close to being eliminated from this match. It can't take much more, or it will sink. Danubia just has to hold on and keep whittling away. But with that volley, the Danubia may very well be at equal hit points. Yep, pretty much. It's only a 0.6% difference between the two ships right now. Very close match. Oh, the Danubia's actually lost another gun. The Danubia's only hope at this point, basically, is for the Richelieu to sink, which it looks like it did get another 4 seconds of DQ time there. It is just barely holding on. If the Danubia can land a couple more solid strikes, it might be able to sink its opponent, but otherwise, it is in serious trouble. Its guns aren't even firing anymore. Uh-oh. Has the Richelieu managed to weather the storm? I think it has the firepower to make this more than a 5% match. Especially if the Danubia's guns cease firing, and that gun just took a pretty much direct hit, so it is gone. And yep, that is a 5% difference. The Richelieu has taken the lead. All it has to do is not sink, which it is struggling to achieve right now. The Danubia is out of materials to repair with, while the Richelieu still has over 9,500. Has barely used any. And the Danubia no longer has any guns. It is just a flat boat-shaped platform. So as long as the Richelieu does not sink, it will claim victory here. It's all it has to do is not sink. The Danubia will be delivered its first defeat. I believe it's its first defeat. There might have been one more. I don't remember. I think it hasn't. I don't think it's been defeated yet. I think the Richelieu is going to be fine, because it's, you know, spending materials slowly and increasing its buoyancy back up. So I don't think we're going to see another 80% in sinking tick. Oh, is that why some of the shells keep landing short? I keep seeing a few shells land short, and it's because the barrels are beneath the water. We have 1 minute left on the clock, and I do believe this round is going to go to the Richelieu. It successfully survived the damage long enough to disable the Danubia. And then continued pumping out the damage. That was really close. The Richelieu had the 80% sinking timer pop up at least twice. That is the end of round 1 with the Richelieu the victor by an 18.4% margin. But while the victory was pretty solid in the end, reaching that point was actually pretty hairy. It was close. I'm excited to see how the second round's going to go. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Get underway. The Danubia did a lot of damage to the Richelieu's hull in that first round, but only managed to hit one of the quad-barreled turrets. So for most of the match, the Richelieu had the vast majority of its armament available, while the Danubia lost several guns early on. And just like that, one gun is off the Danubia. Let's see how the Richelieu fares. Taking some hits. Ooh, look at that hole in the bow. Yeah, the Richelieu is not a heavily armored ship. Nobody's going to argue that. It has some decent armor where it counts that keeps its guns alive, but the hull itself is cardboard, basically. Ooh, this gun took some big damage there. Much earlier than before. That could be a battle-changing factor, but hit point-wise, the two ships are much closer than they were at this point in the first round. And the Richelieu managed to come back from a pretty hefty deficit and win. Ooh, some more strikes to the Danubia's front there. Armor's holding so far, but it has lost 3 of its guns. Richelieu does have a deficit again. Several of those shells missing the flat hull of the Danubia. Richelieu's getting pounded on. Yeah, it does not do well at this range. It needs to get back out further where it can get some arcs in its shells and land shots more consistently. See, like there, 2 shells skipped off the water and missed. There go 4 more. This is the basically the perfect position for the Danubia to fight in. But the Richelieu wasn't doing. It's actually much bigger deficit this time than last time. Oh, it's lost both of its forward guns here. It looks like. There might be a barrel or 2 still functional, but it looks like for the most part all that's left are the rear guns. Oh, and the Richelieu is getting an 80% in sinking this time around. Uh-oh. Is it going to recover? No, it is not. That is it. The Richelieu was defeated quite quickly and soundly in round 2. So here we go into round 3. Whoever wins this is the victor. And since it is a draw going in, that means the 5% rule does not apply to this match. Whoever has the most hit points at the end wins. Simple as that. Let's get this underway. Richelieu firing off its first volley. Second volley following shortly thereafter. Danubia not firing until the Richelieu shells have almost arrived. Danubia taking some hits. Richelieu taking a hit to its bow. Some hits amidships to the armor. Well, I use the term armor loosely, but you know. While I come in, that's dangerous for those front guns. They seem to have avoided taking any serious damage there. Let's check on the Danubia. It's doing okay. It has lost 2 guns, and it's getting into that position that it really likes, where it's close enough that the flat arcs of shells make it difficult to hit. Oh, and the Richelieu, again, very low in the water. If it takes much more damage, like if it were to take a good chunk of damage here in the stern and lose the buoyancy back there, it may very well sink again. It is having a little trouble staying afloat. Oh, there's a hit to the stern. I don't think that's going to cause... Oh, maybe it will. Yeah, that will cause some buoyancy loss. Several compartments there are flooded. And both of these front guns, this gun is actually disabled. This one is effectively disabled because the barrels are underwater, which means the shells are not going to land on target. The AI does not account for... water drag. As you can see, those shells are falling way short. Danubia taking some hits to the side. It has lost many of its guns. It's down to 5 guns, lost half of its armament. But Richelieu is basically in the same position gun-wise, but it is actually sinking right now. It is gaining disqualification time. I did not notice this. Yeah, it is completely under the water. Just the tip of one of its gun barrels and its superstructure. Everything else... oh, and the flag. The flag is above the water. Everything else is sinking, but it's not 80%, so it doesn't have the 80% sinking timer. It is getting disqualification time for sinking. Looks like that round 1 defeat woke the Danubia up, and it's like, you know what? No. I'm gonna win this. Screw you. So, yep, the Richelieu was sunk by the Danubia in round 3 here. That is the end of the battle, with the Danubia victorious. That first round was a really nice battle, and then the round 2 and 3 were just basically curb stomps. But it was fun to watch, in my opinion. There was lots of confetti going on. So anyway, if you haven't voted for these ships, well, you obviously haven't voted for the Richelieu yet, but you know, down in the description, Hall of Beauty votes, all the links to all the stuff. Check it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.